Okay, so this summer I made this fish bag, obviously inspired by the Curlworks fish bags, for my friend for her birthday, and 2 more of my friends are interested in them, so I will be making them as late Christmas gifts, and I thought I would film the process. So first I'm going to make my new pattern based off of this bag. Okay, so I have some semblance of a pattern. Here are the fabrics that I picked out. I have some old pant material, corduroy, some denim. I got this at a fabric resale store in Portland. Lining of an old coat. I'm probably going to use this for the main body of both fish. It's kind of this canvasy dark green. Back of a fin, cloud print, this really nice dark green. And then a little bit more extra denim. And I also have black and white for the eyes. Okay, I think these are my fish. I'm really second guessing my color choices on this one, to be honest, but I think I'll sew both of them into the front of the bag, and then once that's done I'll worry about how I'm gonna put the pieces together to make it a functional bag. Here's where I'm going to stop for today. So as you saw, I zigzagged the eyes onto each other and then onto the head. Fins I put right sides together, and when I flip them right sides out, I top stitch along the edge. And then to assemble these 3, I just made a little sandwich with the head, the body, and the fin. And then I went back and zigzagged along the seam, and then I top stitched along the edge of the head. So this is going to be the front, as we can kind of compare to this guy. So the next steps is to trace out a back, and then also cut out these little D-ring attachments and our zipper attachment. Okay, so it is several days later, and I have actually finished this bag to the point where it needs lining and a strap. And I'm about to start this same process on this guy. So I have attached my zipper to my kind of gusset fabric that's going to make this a 3D shape. I did kind of struggle a little bit on this one. It's not totally perfect, just I think the way the back and the front lined up, this fabric's kind of being pulled, but I redid it once and I've decided it's good enough. So I will also be making these little attachment pieces for this guy, but I think I'm just going to start by sewing my zipper and the zipper tape right sides together around, and then I'll meet up at the bottom and connect it all. Okay, so my gusset piece is all attached. I started with my zipper foot in the middle of my zipper, went all the way around to about here this way, and then flipped my zipper foot around and did the same this way, and then I matched them up, trimmed them to fit, sewed them together, and attached the whole thing. So now I'm going to cut these straps. I should mention that actually all my hardware I got from my local secondhand craft store, which was awesome. So I'm just going to cut straps to fit these D-rings, and then I'll sew them and attach them to my back piece. I have my two straps. I'm just going to thread them through my D-rings. And I'll probably trim the ends of these some amount. I'm going to, first of all, sew the amount I want onto these. Like this guy, it's attached at the back of the gusset, 3D. And then I'm going to make sure to keep my zipper open, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing as I did to attach this to this. I'm going to pin this all the way around and sew around with my zipper foot, and then I will zigzag all of my raw edges. I think I'm going to do a drop-in lining. I have not, all of these edges are zigzagged except for along the zipper. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a drop-in and attach it along the zipper tape. That was a bit of a struggle, to be honest. I had the same issue with this one, where when I put the back on, it seemed like the back is too small. And what I ended up doing with this one is I flipped it so my feed dogs were kind of feeding, or like able to gather this piece a little bit in, and it ended up working out okay. So now I'm going to do the fins for both of these guys. I think this guy's going to have a dark green fin and a denim fin, and this guy's going to have a floral fin and another denim fin. And I think for this guy, I just zigzagged them on the back, and that seemed like it has worked out okay, so I might do the same thing. So I cut two pieces for each fin, front and back, and I sewed them along the curve and then flipped them right sides out and top stitched along that same curve, and then I just zigzagged along the bottom line onto the back of the bag below the zipper tape. The shells are pretty much done. I think they're cute. They're not perfect, but alas. So for the lining, I think I'm just going to cut two of the same kind of fish shape out of each lining fabric, and then I'll machine sew it with leaving a gap for the zipper, and then I'll hand sew around the zipper. Once I got my lining sewn together, I flipped it right sides out, and I flipped the shell of the bag right sides in, and I pinned them together along the zipper tape, wrong sides together. and I just flipped in the edges of my lining to cover up all my raw edges. I sewed them together along the edge of the zipper tape just by hand, and then once that was done, I was able to flip everything right sides out. We are so close to the finish line. The last thing that has to be done is adding the strap, which I've mocked up on one. This one I made in the summer does not have a strap or have a buckle. It just has a slider adjustment. I also hand wove this strap. But these guys are just getting like polyester webbing and buckles. So I've mocked it up on this one, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this one, and then I'll sew it into place. I'm just gonna go sew all of that in place using a zigzag stitch and folding over twice. I think they're done. I am really pleased. I think they're really cute. The last thing I did was just add some cord through the zipper holes to make the hole a little bit chunkier. Yeah, I hope my friends like them. I think they're really cute.